Hi friends, Sunil here. Welcome back to this channel. In this video, we will learn the range and enumerate functions, the break, continue and pass statements, and the for and while loops in Python. First, we will start with the range function. It is a built-in function in Python. It gives a sequence of numbers based on the start and stop index given. Here in this range 6, I have given the index value as 6. So this is the stop index value. I have not provided the start value, so it will take as 0 by default. So it will start from 0 to 5, which is 1 less than the end index value which we have given. So the range will be from 0 till 5. We'll run this. So it has started with the default value 0 and it has ended with 1 less than the value which we are given. So 1 less than 6, that is 5. Now we will see another example of range. Here I have provided the start value and the stop index value. So the start index value is included, that is range will start from 3, and the stop index value is excluded. So it will go only up till 8, not 9. So the range will start from 3 till 1 less than 9, that is 8. Run this. So range has started from 3 till 8. So now we will see another example. Here we are having this step also. The range start index is 2, end index is 23. That means the range will start from 2 till 22, that is 1 less than 23. So from 2 to 22 in the step of 3, that means it will start with 2, then add 3 to 2, that is 5. Then again add 3, that is 8, and so on. So 2, 5, 8, 11 and so on. So it has printed 2, 5, 8, 11 and 14 and so on. That is in the step of 3. So now we will see this for loop. As we know, the for loop is used to iterate over elements of a sequence. So here in this case, we are iterating over the elements of the string India. So for each element in this string, it will print the element one by one. That means it will print the letter one after another. So we'll run this. So it has printed INDIA. So it has iterated through each element of the string. Now we'll see another example. Here we are having a list subjects which has 5 elements in it. So here this for loop will iterate over each element in this list and print the element. So for element in subjects, print element. We'll run this. So it has printed the elements of the list, that is subjects. Now we will see another example. Here we are using this length function for I in range length subjects. So length subject means it will take the length of this list. So the length of the list is the items in the list. That means there are 5 items, 5 elements in this list. So length subject will be 5. So for I in range 5, that means I will start from 0 till 4. Then we are printing the subjects I, that means subject 0 to subject 4 will be printed. So subject 0 is physics and subject 4 is Hindi. So we'll run this. So it has printed the value I is equal to 0, that is subject 0, which is physics, till subject 4, that is Hindi. Now we will see another example of the for loop. Here this for is having an else, so which is unique to Python. In other languages we don't have this else for the for. So here in this for loop, for I in range 6 means I will start from 0 to 5. It will print the value of I. And after printing all the values of I, this loop is terminated normally. There is no break in this. So whenever the loop is terminated normally, it will go to this, after completion of the iterations, it will go to this else and print whatever is there in the else also. Here it will print in the else part. So we'll run this. So it has started from 0 till 5. So the loop has terminated normally. Then it has gone to the else and printed in the else part. So similarly, in the while loop also, when the loop is terminated normally, it will go to the else part. Here we will see this in this while loop, while count less than 6. As we know, the while loop executes the block of codes multiple times until a certain condition is met. Here the while loop will execute this block till the condition is met, that is count less than 6. That is, till it is less than 6, this loop will be executed. So here I am incrementing the value of count by 1. So as soon as it touches 6, it will go to the else and print this statement inside else of while. Run this. So it has started from 0 till 5. So when that condition is met, that is it has touched 6, it has gone to the else and printed inside else of while. So whenever a loop is terminated normally, that is without any break, in such cases it will go to the else and print whatever is written in the else state. Now we will see the break and continue statements. The break statements allows us to break or terminate the execution of a loop. Now here in this for statement, for I in range 4 to 20, the value of I starts from 4 and ends at 19. Then I have this condition, if I equal to 13 break. That means this statement print I will be executed only for values of I from 4 to 12. When the value of I becomes 13, it will break out of this for loop. And because of this break, it was not the normal termination of the for loop. So this else part will not be executed. Run this. So it has printed the values of I from 4 to 12, and because of the break, the loop was not terminated normally, and hence this else part is not executed. So it has not executed this print statement. Now we will see the continue statement. Here the for loop is the same for I in range 4 to 20. The value of I will start from 4 to 19. Then in this if condition, I am checking if I modulus 2 equal to 0. That is, I am checking whether I is an even number. If it is an even number, then this continue statement is executed. So on execution of this continue statement, the control is transferred back to the for loop for the next iteration of I. That means the control will not come to this print statement. For even numbers, the control will not come to this print statement and print the value of I. Instead, it will go back to the for loop for the next iteration of I. The control will come to this print statement only for odd numbers. So odd numbers will be printed and even numbers will be skipped. We'll run this. So it has printed all the odd numbers from 5 to 19. And because the termination was normal, the for loop was terminated normally, so it has gone to the else part and executed this print statement. Now we will see an example of for loop with both break and continue statement. Here it is the same for, that for I in range 4 to 20, the range is same. Then I am having this condition if I equal to 13 break. That means this for loop will iterate for values of I from 4 to 12. When the value of I reaches 13, it will break out of this for loop. Then for that means for the values of I from 4 to 12, the next condition is checked. That is, if I modulus 2 equal to 0. That means it will check whether the numbers are even numbers or not. If the numbers are even, this continue statement will be executed and the control will go back to the for loop for the next iteration of I. If it is an odd number, the control will come to this print statement and execute this print statement. That means for values of I from 4 to 12, all the odd numbers will be printed here. Whereas even numbers, it will not come to this print statement, it will skip this print statement. For even numbers, this continue statement will be executed and the control will go back to the for loop for the next iteration. It will not go to the print statement. We will run this. So only odd numbers will be printed. So only odd numbers from 4 to 12 are printed. Now we will see the while loop. So here I am initializing the variable I with 0. Then in this while loop, I am having this condition I less than 6. The while loop will be executed till this condition is met. Then inside the while loop, I am printing the value of I. Here I am incrementing the value of I by 1. So it will print the values of I from 0 to 5. We'll run this. So it has printed the values of I from 0 to 5, and because the loop was terminated normally, it has gone to this else statement and executed this print statement. Now we will add a condition here in this while loop. So here I am checking, inside the loop I am checking if the value of I is greater than 3. If it is greater than 3, it will break from the while loop. And it will not go to this else statement. It will not execute this print statement because the termination is not normal. The termination is caused due to this break. So we'll run this. So here it has printed the values of I from 0 to 3. So when the value of I is greater than 3, that means when it has touched 4, this break statement is executed and it has come out of the while loop. And since this break statement is executed, the termination of the while loop was not normal, so it has not gone to this else path. Now we will see the break and continue statements in nested for loops. Here I am having two for loops. For I in range 4 means the value of I will start from 0 to 3. And the inner loop for j in range 4, here also the value of j will start from 0 to 3. That means for each value of I there will be 4 iterations of j. Now in this inner loop, I have given this condition, if j is equal to 2 then break. That means this inner loop will iterate only 2 times for values of j equal to 0 and j equal to 1. So this print statement will be executed only 2 times. When the value of j becomes 2, it will break from this inner loop and the control is transferred back to the outer loop for the next iteration of I. That means for each value of I, the j loop will iterate only 2 times for values of j equal to 0 and j equal to 1. When the value of j becomes 2, it will break out of this loop. Now we will run this. So here the value of I is 0. The j loop has iterated 2 times for values of j, 0 and 1. Similarly, for values of I equal to 1, 2 and 3 also, the j loop has iterated only 2 times for values of j, 0 and j equal to 1. Now we will see the continue statement. Here the for loops are the same. The only change is I have replaced the break statement with the continue statement. So here in this condition, if j is equal to 2, then continue. So when this continue statement is executed, the control is transferred back to this inner for loop for the next iteration of j. That means when this continue statement is executed, the code after the continue statement is skipped. So this print statement will not be executed. So when j is equal to 2, this print statement will not be executed. It will be executed only for values of j equal to 0, j equal to 1 and j equal to 3. Now we will run this. So when the value of I is 0, it has printed the value of j, 0, 1 and 3. So it has not executed the print statement when the value of j is 2. Similarly, for values of I, 1, 2 and 3 also, it has not executed the print statement when j equal to 2. It has skipped the print statement. It has skipped the statement after the continue statement. Now we will see the pass statement. This pass statement is used as a placeholder for future codes. That means if you want to write future codes, if you don't have the code now, and if you want to write the code in a future date, for the time being you use the pass statement in order to avoid error. If I just give the condition, if a is equal to 1 without any statement, it will give error. So we use the pass statement to avoid the error. Now this pass statement can be used inside the if statement. It can be used inside functions. So here I am defining my function and I am using the pass statement inside it, calling the function from here. It can be used inside class. It can also be used in the for loops. First we will run this. So this is the example of pass statement inside if statement, then pass inside function and pass inside the class. Now we will see the pass statement inside the for loop. So here I am having a list of numbers. It is a mixture of even and odd numbers. In this for loop, for number in the list, that is for number in numbers, that means for each element in the list, if the number modulus 2 equal to 0, that means it is checking whether it is an even number, then it will pass. Pass means it will do nothing. And if it is an odd number, it will come to this else statement and print the number. So it will print all the odd numbers from this list. So it has printed the odd numbers from this list of numbers. So when it is even number, it will pass. Now we will see the enumerate function. This enumerate function is a built-in function in Python. It adds a counter to each item of the iterable object and returns an enumerate object. So the enumerate function will add a counter to each of these elements in the list. So here, and it will return an object. This enumerate function will return an object. Then here I am printing the type of that object, and then using this list method and passing the object, it will return a list of tuples. We will run this. So this type is enumerate and list this object. Here it is returning an object. This enumerate function weekdays, it is returning an object, and list of that object, it is returning a tuple. It will print a list of tuples. Now we will see this enumerate function we will use in for loops. So here I am having this list weekdays, then for element in enumerate weekdays, print element. So it will add a counter to each of these elements and then print. We will see that. So it has added a counter to each of these elements and printed. Now if I want to change the value of the initial counter from 0 to 1, say Monday is the first day of the week, so I want to change it from 0 to 1. So I will give 1 here, that is the initial value I will provide here, and run. So it has changed to 1. Now here in this for loop, For I element in enumerate weekdays, print I and E. It will print the counter and the element. So it has printed the counter and the element. Now this, we can enumerate a tuple. What we have seen was we are enumerating a list. We have enumerated a list here. Now we can see enumerating a tuple. Here I am having a tuple weekdays. Then for element in this tuple, element in enumerate weekdays, T weekdays in this tuple, I mean enumerating a tuple here and printing the element. We'll run this. So this is the counter and the element. So it has printed the counter and the element. So we have enumerated a tuple. Now we can enumerate a string. I have given a string, my string as India. And for letter in enumerate my string, means it will add a counter to each of this letter in the string. We'll run this. So here it has added a counter to each of the letters in the string. Now if I want to start with index value 1 instead of 0, I will give the starting index value here and run. So now it has started with the index value as 1. Now we will see enumerating dictionary. Here I am having this dictionary with 3 key value pairs, and for this variable k in enumerate my dictionary, print k. Here it will add counters to each of these keys. We'll run this. So it has added counter to each of the keys. So hope you understood this video. If you understood and like this video, share it with your friends. And don't forget to subscribe for future videos like this. Thanks very much.